Rotate device back. I have not done this very often. I think just once at my parents' house. I was trying to set it up on my computer, and apparently I need to download some software, which I had not done. So now I'm on my phone. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold up my phone like this. Should have brought my tripod up here. But, oh goodness, I wish there was a better way to do this. Hi, I am here basically because I have not uploaded anything to my YouTube channel in many months, may have been a year. I have not checked. It's been a while, and I'm really sorry. I am struggling to come up with content. Just not really sure what to make a video about, so I was hoping that if we could get a little discussion going here, you guys could give me some ideas. I wonder if I can actually see your comments. Some may not be visible. All messages visible. Wait, what's super chat? I have so much to learn about this live stuff. So anyway, hopefully I'll be able to see your comments and you can ask me some questions, and hopefully it will spark some ideas for some new videos to get the channel kind of going again. I have had an extremely busy year. I had a new baby. She is 4 months old now. Her name is Priya. And then I have a 2.5-year-old son, Garrick Ravi. And my husband changed jobs and we moved. Hello! You're the first person here. I'm just rambling to myself right now. So we moved just about an hour north of where we had been. So we have a new house and a new baby and a new job. So it's been kind of a lot to keep up with, but I want to get back to uploading on the blog and on YouTube and everywhere. I have been very pleased with myself. I've been making it to the temple just about once a week, which is way more than I was doing before. There's a temple that's about 15 minutes from me up here, and it's really nice. And when I go on a weekday morning with just me and the 2 kids, there's nobody else there but the priest, and so he's super friendly. He comes over, he brings us prasad and chats with us, so that's really nice. We went there for a little Diwali event for kids, and we had such a good time there. They had a little craft with colored rice and dancing, and yeah, Garrick Ravi had a blast. So I kind of got to meet a little bit of the community then, but it's always hard to integrate yourself in a new community where people have known each other for a long time and you're just this new person standing there awkwardly, like, trying to say hi. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Anyway, so I think nobody was on before when I was saying that I was trying to set up this live from my computer and I didn't realize I was going to have to download software. So now I'm on my phone and I'm like just holding it up, and oh my god, I did my lipstick so horribly. It's 9 o'clock at night here and I just put on makeup just for this. And I did an awful job. Anyway, so yeah, I'm holding the camera up and I don't know how long I'm going to be able to manage that. I wish I had my tripod up here. That would have been a better idea. Actually, what would have been better is if I spent 20 minutes ahead of time figuring out how this all works. Review a Bollywood movie. I have done that in the past and it's been a while, so I could definitely review one of the more recent ones. I'm going to take notes here. I'm so unprepared. My pen cap is still on. There we go. Review Bollywood movie. Yeah, if you go on my blog, I used to do like a Saturday movie thing. And I can't even remember what it's called, but maybe I can look it up. All right, I know. Bollywood is not exactly the highbrow religious material, but it can be interesting. I will say, I don't know if you'd even count it as Bollywood, but the movie OMG, oh my god, I loved that movie, and it was very philosophical. It was based on a play, from what I understand, and you know, it's about someone whose shop is destroyed, and the insurance company calls it an act of God, so he sues God. And I know some people are like iffy about it because he's the main character's an atheist, but I thought it was really well done and that it really calls out some of the problems with people that speak for God. And I thought it was a nice touch that Krishna actually comes down and helps in on the side of the atheist and kind of makes him more religious in the end. Religious in a very genuine way. So, I don't know. It had its flaws, but I really liked that one. So I was looking up what I called the movie things. Did you mean white Hindi movie? No, I did not. Thought I could be clever and get specific here, but that did not work. Search this blog. You know, I was initiated into meditation when I was about 13. My parents had been doing it, and I watched them, and they were like, oh, we have this mantra, but we can't tell you what it is. I'm like, oh, a secret. Like, I really want to know. So I finally went through the whole ceremony, and I got initiated, but meditation was always a struggle. I mean, it's hard work. People don't acknowledge that a lot, that it is difficult to do. It's not like this just relaxing, nice thing. You know, your mind really fights you on it. So I struggled a lot with meditation, and it felt like such a chore to me. I mean, it reached the point where, and my parents say they don't remember this happening, but to me it was like, have you eaten your vegetables? Have you brushed your teeth? Have you meditated? You know, it was this chore that had to get done. Meditation is the key. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you're not meditating. So I resisted it, and I do it pretty rarely. I've had a few really nice experiences, though. I actually ended up switching to a different mantra, and that made a huge difference. Like, I don't know why, but it really did. Yeah, you make it sound so easy. Focus on breathing in and out. The mind, the mind just goes nuts, just races. It's tough. It's really tough. Just to come to that stillness. I know it's valuable. I know it really helps. I had this one incredible experience in Chennai. There was a meditation center there, and my father and I went, and we're sitting on this like marble floor, and there's some fans going, and the mantra that I was using was just humming around me. It felt like it was coming from outside me, and I was just listening to it. Oh, you have to go already? Okay. Well, it's good to see you. Stop by on Facebook and say hello. Okay. So that was an incredible meditation moment. I really, really loved that. But it's rare. And I don't know, I see people say like, oh, if only all kids were taught to meditate and like forced to meditate as kids, what a wonderful world this would be. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of hated that, but yeah, meditation is a good thing. And I certainly like seeing it used in schools instead of like detention and stuff like that, like teaching kids how to do mindfulness exercises of various kinds. Yeah, I think that's beneficial to them. It makes you sane. Yeah, it should. It should definitely. Yeah, being in control of one's mind is definitely a priority, but it is not easy. Yeah. And did you come to it as an adult, or were you doing it as a kid? Because this is what I'm curious about. I think sometimes that people who come to it as an adult value it more, and so it makes a bigger difference for them. Hello, more people, yay! You just started doing it. Yeah, so see, that's what I think, like, it can maybe be more beneficial to you if you weren't doing it as a kid. I mean, that might be crazy. This is my personal theory, that, like, when you come to something as an adult, it you value it and care about it more because you chose it. You know how much it helps you. And yeah, having my parents force me to do it, I don't know, it just led to me kind of hating meditation. And that's something I'm still struggling with. So there's a balance to be found there, I'm sure, as with most things. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with my own kids in this. You know, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old, so it has not come up yet, but I'm not sure what I'm going to present to them in terms of meditation, how much I'm going to encourage or force it. We have a nice book called Moody Cow Meditates that my husband got, and that one is really sweet for kids. It's nice for meditation for kids. Yeah, daydreaming and stuff like that. See, meditation's really challenging for that. I'm sure it must also help, but to be able to concentrate on something and not, get pulled away and distracted it's not easy work. Yeah, when people are like, "Oh, just meditate." Like, it's hard. It's especially hard. Hi, thank you. It's especially hard if, you have stuff buried that you haven't dealt with. Like, it can bring up a lot of stuff for people. I haven't had that experience because I think I have a lot of self-awareness and I haven't been through much that's traumatic, but people who have, deep-seated buried stuff, meditation can be super intense for them. Yeah, I can't guarantee that I'm like really back, but I would like to be. It's been a crazy year. I was saying earlier, we moved to a new house. I had a new baby. My husband has a new job, so it's been hectic. But I would like to get back to doing more videos and blog posts, etc. And I'm not feeling very inspired, so I'm not exactly sure what to do videos about, which is why I thought a Q&A might be a good chance to get back in here and also get suggestions. So if anyone has ideas, it's good to see you too. Yeah, I mean, all of you guys are amazing, and the community that I've gained from my blog and my various places on the internet is just incredible and indescribable. I started my blog in 2009 on Blogger. Nobody read it. I was just talking to nothing. Yeah, I think I've done teaching meditation stuff before too. Like, I'm a terrible meditator. Here, let me tell you how to do it. But yeah, I was just talking to nobody, and I felt so alone, so isolated, so like, I know that Hindu philosophy is the only one in the world that makes sense to me, but can I really be a Hindu? Do I have to just sit back and kind of wait for this lifetime to be over so that maybe I could be born Indian next time? And so I was wrestling with a lot of that stuff back in 2009, and slowly over time, people arrived and started talking to me, and I became so encouraged that, yeah, we can all work on our finding truth and meaning and everything. Oh, thank you. I definitely really appreciate all of the support. And yeah, I know times are changing, and I know it's tough to be religious in the modern world. Oh, don't say that. I'm not more Hindu than other Hindus. No, seriously, I'm not. You know, it's something that's a priority to me in my life. I really care about trying my best and trying to grow my soul, but we're all on different journeys. So yeah, mine is not, better or worse than anybody else's, but yeah. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the support and encouragement of the community. Oh yeah, and it is tough being religious in the modern world, regardless of your religion. I think some of the challenges that Hindus in India are facing are similar to some of the challenges that Christians in America are facing, where, you're having to give up a lot of ground to others, and it's hard. It's scary. It's a new world, but I always take comfort that Hinduism is really something that's deep within me. It can't be taken away from me. It can't be destroyed. It's something that just exists because it's truth, and that's always going to be there. And I know some people think that I'm saying, like, oh, just roll over and don't fight for it then, and that's not exactly what I mean. But I just have a real unshakable core of just knowing that, like, this is the truth and it's not going anywhere, and I'm going to keep on, proclaiming it. Not to say that there aren't other ways to get to the same truth, but to me, Hinduism just is so clear. Like, it really is just the easiest path, the clearest path. So I do have a Hindu temple that's about 15 minutes from my new house, and I didn't know that when we were moving. I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to be traveling an hour to get back to the big one south. There's a lot of Hindu temples, like, around Silver Spring. And then I discovered this one in northern Baltimore, and I was so happy, and it's been delightful. I've been aiming to go once a week, and I've been keeping up with that pretty well. I usually go with the two kids Wednesday morning, and there's nobody else there but the priest, and he is so friendly and so kind, and he, like, stops what he's doing, and he comes over and talks to us, and he gives banana prasad to Garrick Ravi. It's been wonderful. So I haven't had a chance to meet too much of the community yet. We did go to a Diwali event for kids there, so I met some people then, but I was saying earlier, it's always hard when you're coming into Swaminarayan Temple. Is it? I don't know. It's called, like, the Hindu Temple of Greater Baltimore, I think. It's in Finksburg. So yeah, I'm in Baltimore now. I grew up in Massachusetts, north of here, but I've lived in Maryland since 2009. And I haven't been as involved in the temple community as I would like to be, so I'm really making a strong effort to get more into that. I really want, especially for the kids, of course, for them to grow up with that community and to get them in the Bal Vihar classes. So we're getting there, but it's awkward when you're coming into a group where you're like, okay, these people have known each other for a long time, they're part of this community, they're part of this other things they do together, and I'm the new person, but at least I have the excuse of, I just moved here, so. Your way of practicing Advaitin. That's a tough question. It's kind of broad. So I grew up in an organization that's called the School of Economic Science. That's what it's called in England, and here in the US it's often called the School of, the School of Practical Philosophy, and it is based on Advaitin philosophy. It wasn't originally. Originally, it was founded to, like, explore the meaning of life through economics, and then the founder, Mr. McLaren, I'm about to launch into a long story, but yes, I have visited India a couple of times. My parents have a guru there, and I have been to see him, which was an amazing experience. And I'll have to tell you in a minute a little bit more about that, because there were some incredible results. But yeah, so this man, Mr. McLaren, he met the Maharishi, and from there he met Uspensky, and eventually it led him back to Shantananda Saraswati, who was a Shankaracharya in northern India. And so he got philosophy from him and brought it back, and then, like, filtered it through a Western perspective. He was British. He put all this, like, really Victorian ideals on it, and then brought it to the rest of us. So I grew up in that organization, which it's a cult. It's not the most dangerous cult out there, obviously, but in graduate school, I was going through a lot of spiritual exploration, especially because I fell so in love with this Christian boy, hardcore evangelical Christian, and I was like, all right, I gotta try to be that, and boy, I could not do it. I tried so hard. It just didn't make a bit of sense to me. So that's when I realized, like, let me look at what I believe. Oh, wait, this is Hinduism. This is Advaitin Hinduism. And it always had been. So to me, I think the core of that is the belief that in reality, everything is God. Me and you and everybody. Everybody keeps asking me about the WhatsApp app, and I have never used it. I'm gonna have to try it. I'll have to look it up and let you guys know what my username is, because I have no idea. But to get back to the guru that we have now, there was a schism in the cult, and my parents went with a different branch, and they decided that they wanted to get closer in touch with the source of the philosophy. So they found another Shankaracharya. Sri Shantananda Saraswati had died by then. And so they found the Shankaracharya in the south, Sri Bharati Tirtha, who is still there now. And so we have been going every few years to visit him. And in fact, my parents are going to India in like a week. Oh, I know. He's incredible. Sringeri, yeah. It's don't worry about me and flirters. I can put them in their place. Don't worry. Yeah, no, yeah, Sri Bharati Tirtha, I went the first time pretty skeptical. I went with my parents. They offered to take me, and I was like, free trip to India. Oh, yeah, I can't afford that on my own. I'm there to like soak up the culture. I don't know about this guru stuff. I mean, when you're coming from a cult, you are kind of, what's the word? You don't trust authority, especially religious authority. I had been really let down by discovering the darker side of the leaders that I trusted. So I was extremely skeptical. Now, at that time, I was like 28, I believe, and I had been dating since I was 19, and I wanted to get married so bad. Like every time I dated anybody, it was with the view of like, I want to get married. And nobody would marry me, and I was so discouraged. And so my mom was like, when you go for an audience with an enlightened guru, it's very traditional to ask about a husband. Why don't I ask for a husband for you? I was like, yeah, all right, if you want to, whatever. So she did. She even did it in Sanskrit. She doesn't like me to brag about her, but she's been studying Sanskrit for like 40 years now. She loves it. And I'm so proud of her for that. But anyway, so we come back from India, and about 6 months later, I met Brad, who was instantly like such a strong connection, such a perfect person. Oh, the kids are in bed. Here it's I don't know where you guys are all Skyping in from, but it's 9:30 at night, and my kids are 4 months and 2, so they're asleep, thank goodness. Oh, that's the cat. I was like, oh, it sounds like a kid screaming right now. Nope, that's the cat. So I met Brad, incredible man. As soon as we started dating, we both knew, like, this is the one. This is what we've been waiting for. And I didn't even think about it. My mom later was like, after all those years of dating, you met your soulmate, like, less than a year after we talked to Sri Bharati Tirtha about it. I was like, you make a good point. So, fast forward a couple of years. Brad and I are married. We're trying to have children. We're having a terrible time. Oh, I know. I should have put a bindi on. I was thinking about it. Should have done it. This is my cat. His name is Moksha because his original name was Liberty, and we thought that's a little too rednecky for us. But yeah, so a couple years later, we're trying to have children, and we can't. I went through all kinds of testing, and I got diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I was doing all kinds of stuff. I took medications, I was changing my diet, I was working really hard on it, because I wanted to be a mother really, really, really desperately. And then we took another trip to India, and this time I told, we went through our darshan, through our audience. I know. Isn't Moksha a cool name? And he lives up to it. Oh my gosh. Limitless, uncontained, like, yeah. So anyway, we went through the darshan line, and I said to His Holiness, you know, I've been married for 3 years. We've been trying to have a baby, and I haven't been able to get pregnant. And he held up his hand and he said in English, I bless you. And this feeling came over me of just relief and release, and like he had cleared something in me. I don't know. Like, I'm not usually a very woo-woo kind of person, but 6 months later, I was pregnant with Garrick Ravi. And he's... Hi, Moksha. And he's the most delightful little boy. He's so healthy, so strong, so happy and cheerful and sharing and giving, and like he just delights people everywhere he goes. And then just last year I got pregnant again, surprise pregnant. So yeah, I credit the guru for my marriage and my two beautiful children. And so somebody asked how Hinduism is doing in the US, and I don't know if I really have the authority to answer that, but I've seen statistics that we only make up like 4% of the population. So it's really just that like people don't know about it. Obviously they've heard the word and they have some vague idea about like yoga, om, and meditation maybe, but people don't even realize the word karma is related to Hinduism. Like, people use that word all the time now in America, and it's like they have no concept that that comes from Hindu philosophy. So it's an uphill battle of education, but we're working on it, you know. The Hindu American Foundation is doing great work. They are putting together a lot of, oh, okay. I will look up those videos. How to be sane. Yeah, that's a good one. Why choose Hinduism? I mean, why does anybody not choose Hinduism, really? I mean, goodness gracious. It's like, yeah, ISKCON is pretty popular in America, and I have been to some ISKCON events. They do a fantastic Krishna Janmashtami. They do a great Holi. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Their philosophy is somewhat different from mine, but you know, I still enjoy them. There are a fair number of ISKCON, and you know, of course, most people assume that I'm ISKCON because that's the kind of Hinduism that non-Indians practice. So I'm still a little bit of an odd duck. Everywhere I go, I'm a little bit odd. But there's more of us than I realized. Like, now, again, with the blog connecting me to a lot of people, I meet more and more Western Hindus and people who, even like me, grew up with Hindu philosophy pretty central. Yeah, my parents never called it Hinduism, and they were pretty uncomfortable with me labeling myself as a Hindu. They thought that that would be seen as insulting in some way. But they've been encouraged to see that a lot of people like my blog and what I'm doing. So that put them at ease somewhat, but they're not comfortable calling themselves Hindu, even though they really are. I don't know. When it comes to labels, you know, some people are just not comfortable with naming it. American Vedas. Not sure what you're talking about there. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was popping up in the comment stream that I wanted to address, and I don't remember. Mommy brain is a thing. Yeah. I struggle with Islam philosophy and also Christian philosophy, and also being a liberal. Like, I am democratic, I'm liberal, I'm about, you know, freedom and opportunities and equality for everyone. So it's kind of hard to balance those things sometimes. I try really hard to be open-minded and be kind to everyone, but there are definitely aspects of both Islam and Christianity that scare me a lot. And I think it's because they have such expansionist philosophy kind of built into them, and maybe not everybody practices it that way or interprets it that way, but there's enough that do that it's very scary, because I'm all like, you practice whatever makes you happy and I will practice what makes me happy, and if you're finding peace and truth in your path, then fantastic, that's what you should be doing. But please don't try to tell me that my path is wrong. Like, that gets me very, very upset. So yeah, it's I do get myself in trouble sometimes with my liberal friends, because I'm like, I'm one of you, really, but I'm also struggling with I don't know, sometimes it feels like having a little bit more knowledge than they do about these philosophies of these religions that have this exclusivity clause, this our way is the only way to God. But I don't know, maybe I'm just being full of myself there. American Veda's Philip Goldberg. Oh, I've heard of him. Okay, I have not read that, but I'll have to look it up. I'm sure these comments will be saved, so I can look up all your suggestions later, and maybe. In Hinduism, what matter attracted you? There's so many great things about Hinduism. You guys know that. That it's not that God is this separate being that you have to bow down to and grovel and please, or he might punish you. Like, the idea that divinity is everywhere and we're all kind of working together. God is more of a partner trying to work with you towards enlightenment and kind of merging with that divinity. And that you're responsible for your own shit, that you can control your mind, you can control how you take things in life. It's not about some authority figure that's saying, you have to do this, you can't do this. If you do this, then you're going to get punished, and you're going to, just do what I say. This parental idea of God, like, just don't question, just do what I say. And like, I cannot get behind that. Like, I love that Hinduism is about exploring and testing things out and trying to uncover truth, and it is not stuck in the past, but it also values the past. So this truth is there and accessible for everyone in this day as well as in the past, although easier in the golden age, I'm sure. But yeah, there's so many good things about Hinduism, you guys. Autocrat. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna write it down. Okay, I'm taking notes. Yeah, I have a pretty good backlog of videos and blog posts. I mean, I have been blogging since 2009, and for a good chunk of that, I wrote a post 5 days a week. So there is a ton of material on my blog of Pathos. Oh, don't start bickering now. No, it's good to refresh and think things again. Veganism and vegetarianism. Oh, that's a tough one, guys. That's a tough one, I hate to admit. I don't think I know any vegan Hindus, because vegan would mean, like, not eating cheese or milk, and that's not usually something that I see as a value in Hinduism. But obviously vegetarianism, yes. And I don't know if it's easier for people who just grew up with that than it is for me, but I struggle a lot with avoiding meat, and I try really hard, because I know, it's kinder, it's more compassionate, it's better for the planet, it's everything. Yeah, I know. I always call Hinduism a religion, and it's just it's so hard to define what's a religion and what's a system of life and what's a a way of life. You know, it's hard to figure out all those definitions. So I do kind of tend to shorthand it as a religion. Uh, Veganism for animal rights. Yeah. Do you feel like the cows are being mistreated in order to get the milk? Because that would certainly be a concern for Hindus, definitely. I know the egg thing can be a problem because of them killing the male chicks. Really? You think the majority of Hindus eat meat? Man, that's not what I get told. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't grow up with that much meat. My parents are pretty close to vegetarian, and not for religious values, but just, you know, in the organization that we grew up in, we pretty much ate raw food. We had baked whole wheat bread, and then just like raw vegetables, fruits, nuts, honey, and that's it. I have heard of the Arya Samaj. Is that how you say it? I'm like reluctant to pronounce things. Uh, thank you, Prakesh. I I'm hoping this will trigger me to be on YouTube more again. But yeah, so I like Samaj. I think they're very interesting, and it's certainly a fascinating path for people like me to come to Hinduism and to feel like, okay, I've done some kind of an official entrance into it. But I haven't found any of them close to me, so I haven't really looked that far into it. But if they had like a branch in Maryland somewhere, I would definitely go and learn more. Yeah, pure Vedic. Ooh, that's intimidating. I know. I gotta I gotta try to be my best. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, those guys are really doing it. They're doing it well. Oh, can I live up to that? Yeah, I mean, Hinduism doesn't have these strict rules in a way because it's the natural consequences will teach you themselves. You know, if you eat meat, then you're going to have that karmic consequence and you're going to learn from it. So, you know, you're not perfect right from the start, but as you go, you learn from what is happening to you based on your own actions. So, oh, Dr. Hagelin on Vedas and physics. No, I've never heard of him. That's another one I'll look up later. Um, oh, there was something else that I was gonna say. God. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten again. What was I gonna say? Yeah. But these suggestions are all great because it's gonna trigger me to think of more ideas for videos too, so that helps a lot. Yes, definitely kindness, ahimsa, huge value. But but I think that, like I said, over time you get taught naturally by the consequences to your actions. What is Purti Puja? Is that offering of milk products, as we were talking about earlier? I don't know if I'm seeing these questions in real time or not. I hope I am. These questions and comments. Um, but yeah, I have not experienced the Samaj thing because they seem like so much better than me. Because the pain the creatures have gone through. And you think they're going through the pain like from milk products and not just like obviously killing. Ooh, we don't like. I've heard of Sadhguru. In fact, I think I have his app, but I have not listened to that much. Oh yes, the fear of death. I was gonna get to that. Thank you for reminding me. I I have such a tremendous fear of death, and I don't know why. It's like I know it's a natural part of life, and I do believe that the soul goes on, and I believe in reincarnation and moksha and enlightenment, and yet I have to kind of not even think about it because I will end up in such a state where like I can't function because I'm so frightened. So that's something I'm still trying to understand about myself. One of the things that frightens me about it is the fear of being alone, facing it alone. And I I think probably it doesn't feel like you're alone in that moment because you're connecting with God and God is kind of there to meet you. But it's terrifying to do new things and things that you've never experienced before, or if you have, you don't have any memory of them. So, yeah, death scares me a lot. Um, Although, strangely, 10 years ago, one of my very best friends died. And for a little while after she died, I felt like if she can do it, I can do it. It's not, she died very suddenly in a car accident, and I was devastated, and it took me many years to recover from that. But there was still some kind of sense of like, she's gone and paved the way for me. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, comments are flying. Let's see. There was one I wanted. Oh, Hindi and Sanskrit. So, I mentioned earlier, my parents have been studying Sanskrit for 40 years. They are. They don't like me to brag about them, but I am very impressed by that because Sanskrit is a difficult language, and I am not good at learning languages. So myself, I said I'm going to try Hindi because Hindi is a little bit simpler and people actually speak it, and I can get better practice and stuff. And I love Hindi. I completely fell in love with it. I was able to read the script because of my parents knowing Sanskrit, so I had that advantage going into it. But I have been studying Hindi for the last 15 years, and I still am terrible at it. Absolutely terrible. I get so excited when I can understand like a 4-word sentence. Yes, I'm sorry, you guys. I know I've been away for a really long time. Garrick Ravi is in bed, and I have a new baby, Priya, and she is also in bed. So everybody is sleeping right now. I have been away for a long time, and part of that is that it's been a super busy year because my husband got a new job, and we moved to a new house, and I had a new baby. I have not met Stephen Knapp. I've heard of him, but I have not met him, or I don't think I've read his work. I also struggle a lot with depression when I'm pregnant, so it makes it very difficult for me to really accomplish anything. So I'm really relieved that I'm not pregnant anymore, and I have my 2 beautiful children. But it did lead me to like almost a year of not blogging or uploading, and I'm really glad you guys hung in there and stuck with me because I really do want to get back to it. I do. So I'm hoping that this can kind of jumpstart me getting back into YouTube a little bit. I know. I have a wonderful house. Oh my gosh, I definitely can't read it that fast. Uh, K May Hindu. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Oh, really? Arya Samaj is not Advaitin? I thought they were Advaitin. Coffee. See, I know all those individual words, but putting them together is going to take me a while. I'm going to have to look back at that later and interpret it very, very slowly. I need a speaking partner. I need some practice. Oh, God, politics. Ugh. I used to try to avoid politics, but it is hard to avoid these days because it's just wrapped up in everything in our world. I know I should do yoga. I did a video on trying yoga a while back, and I enjoyed it. I've struggled sometimes with going to yoga teachers because I get obnoxious, you know what I mean? I'm like, you don't really know what Om is and whatever. But I followed some YouTube videos on it, and I really, really liked it. Oh man, I want to know Hindi so bad. I just really suck at learning languages. I have tried every program out there and I've learned a lot, but it's just like I can't get it to fit together. So I have clinical depression, which means that it makes no sense. There's no reason for it to happen. It's awful. It's so weird. So it's like I have this fantastic life. I have the world's best husband. He is amazing. He's so kind and gentle, and he treats me like a queen. I have this beautiful house. I have, this wonderful community of all of you that I can speak to. I've had a blog. I've been able to reach a lot of people. I have my gorgeous children. I have heard of the Art of Living Foundation. Yeah. Um, so there's no reason for me to be depressed. No reason. But sometimes my brain just cannot produce enough of the chemical that keeps like a steady level, and I just get into a terrible state for no reason. So I go to a support group actually now and meet other people who also struggle with that. It's getting better now that I'm not pregnant because the hormones in pregnancy really make it a lot worse. And I've gotten like suicidally depressed. I've gotten really bad. And again, it makes no sense because like I wanted Garrett Ravi so badly. We tried for 3 years to get pregnant with him. We finally did. And by the second month of pregnancy, I was not functioning. I was in such a bad state that my husband like took me to the doctor, like emergency, and they put me on antidepressant medication because I was that bad. I said to them, if you can't make this better right now, then I'm not going to make it, and my baby's not going to make it. So it's scary. Clinical depression is very misunderstood, and it's a weird disease. But it does sometimes affect my ability to be productive, and I'm sorry about that because I really do want to keep making videos for you guys and connect with you. Let me see, there were some more comments why don't you connect with a lot of white Hindus in the US? They can be kind of hard to find. ISKCON is a good start. I do go to ISKCON sometimes. And I'm trying not to be too prideful. I think that gets in the way sometimes, where my ego gets in the way of me meeting sometimes. My life is very eventful. Yeah. It has not been simple. I saw a therapist once who was like, you're very complicated. I'm like, I just wanted a simple life. Just simple plain. I want a husband and children and to, be a good person. And I have that, and I'm so grateful for that. And again, I credit His Holiness Sri Bharati Tirtha for helping me get there. But yeah, yoga and meditation, I know, are definitely steps and part of the puzzle of what I need to keep my mind on track in terms of depression. There's a lot of different elements that can come together to help fix that. And I went to this great talk. I don't know if you guys saw on my blog, I did a summary of a talk at the really big Hindu temple in Silver Spring about mental health in the Hindu community, and it was wonderful. I have everything I ever dreamed of. My life is perfect. It really is. I'm so happy and so content, really. It's wonderful. Yeah, I think the political voice of Hindus in America is starting to widen. It's not there yet, but we're getting there slowly. I always like that Tulsi Gabbard was sworn in on a Gita. She's a congresswoman. She's a white Hindu also. But yeah, I'm looking for more Indian Hindus in Vedanta Society of New York. That sounds familiar. I feel like I've encountered them before. See, I'm going to look back over these comments later and like write down all of these names and all the books and organizations and people so I can learn more. And I love learning. Love learning. I did speak to Farhan. I just was able to learn that he existed because, I don't know, YouTube was like suggesting his videos to me. So I just saw him and was like, hey, why don't I interview you? So it's just a matter of like finding and meeting other people. I don't know, I guess he's not really a white Hindu. He's a former Muslim. Oh, okay. You know what? My Hindi is not great, but subscribing to a Hindi-speaking channel would help me improve, so it'd be good practice for me too. I will try that. Oh man, I'm at like the level of a 4-year-old, you guys. Like I'm not at like philosophy talk. I'm like, that bird is flying. That table is blue. That's the kind of thing I can say in Hindi. It's sad. But I keep trying. I keep on trying. Oh my gosh, it's been almost an hour. I should probably get going pretty soon and head to bed. But this is really nice. Maybe I should just do this more regularly. That would help me, you know, connect more often, even if I can't think of a specific topic for a video. So I'll try to come on and do stuff like this more often. And thank you all for so many great suggestions and ideas. And I'm really looking forward to going through the comments. And yeah, I'm so self-conscious. Well, you guys are gonna like make fun of me for my terrible Hindi. Oh my gosh, David Frawley is like so high above me. He would not ever even want to talk to me. He's like a celebrity. I do not know about Zakir. I did not see what the second name was, but no, I'm not familiar with that person. You know, if you guys know people that you want me to connect with or interview or talk to, then definitely send their info along, you know, connect us, and I'd be happy to do that. Now I feel like I need to show off my Hindi. Let's see. No, it's so embarrassing. Let's see, what can I say? Let's see. Mera bacche so rahe hain. Okay, I'll do lives more often. Yeah, I'll try to do it at least once a month, maybe even once a week. That'll be nice. It is nice to connect with you guys this way. How to find self. Well, you know, before I get right about how to do that, I have to have done it. Oh, a terrorist. Okay, no, I'm not familiar with him. Eee. That's too bad. Yeah, it's such a mysterious to me. How can anybody hate Hinduism? I mean, come on. I'm doing better. I made improvement. I seriously have been studying Hindi for 15 years. I feel so discouraged, but I wish I had somebody like in person that I could talk to and who would like not just immediately go back to English because they feel sorry for me. Oh yeah, well lots of people think Hindus are going to burn in hell. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you believe in hell, then okay, that's I feel sorry for you that you believe that there's a God that's going to do that to you. Like, why would you worship someone like that? Ugh. Oh my goodness, I hate people like that. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, hopefully I could find a way to have a Hindi-speaking partner to help me improve. Yeah, brain cells die. That's what it feels like. Like, oh, you guys, how contradictory is that? Like, we believe in a loving God who will burn you in hell for eternity because you didn't bow down to him enough. I don't know. Highly suspect. I know, so many people. And I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were all here, but when I was in college, I tried to be an evangelical Christian. I fell so in love with this evangelical boy. I tried really hard. And I was like, this does not make any sense. I can't do it. Like, what? Why did God want somebody to die to make up for sins? Like, what? He wanted his son to be murdered, and that would make him able to forgive us? Like, what are you saying? I don't get it. I don't get it. And that's why I wish that they would acknowledge that there are different paths for different people, and if they are able to comprehend that kind of God, then great, but like that is never going to work for me. No, never. I would rather be an atheist than believe in a God like that. No. Yeah, I fight back against that kind of philosophy whenever I can, whenever I encounter it. I mean, I have friends who are wonderful Christians, and so I always feel bad when I talk shit about Christianity because, like, there are some really nice Christians out there, and, like, I have good friends who are doing it right. But how do I deal with trolls? Not well, apparently. I've got some doozies right now going on my page. It used to bother me so much. I used to really, like, take everything to heart, but I don't know, 10 years of blogging makes you pretty jaded, and now I'm just like, huh, well, you can believe whatever you want, but I know, I think because I have so much support from all of you that, like, it makes it really easy to dismiss someone instead of being like, oh my gosh, this person thinks that, it must be true. But I can be like, well, 99% of people don't think that, so this person must just be crazy. But yeah, I've got somebody on my page now who is just, I mean, he is footnoting his comments for why I'm a bad person. It's just like, whoa, you're putting a lot of effort into that for, I don't know why. Like, I don't know what you think, what kind of power I have that you want to take down, but who knows with people. And then there was one that it turned out to be Russians. I had no idea, but like somebody saying that like white people aren't human, that they were descended from like a different Neanderthal branch. And I was like, well, I mean, there's a long history of white people kind of suggesting that other people aren't human or aren't fully human. So like, yeah, it's kind of my turn to be told that. Whatever. But somebody actually did some digging and research and found that it was Russian trolls just trying to like stir stuff up. So you just can't tell on the internet who is legit. But I'm willing to listen to a lot of viewpoints, even ones that seem pretty mean. But yeah, it has been an hour, so I better get going and get to bed. But I'm going to do this again really soon, and I'll let you know here and on Facebook as well. I know, I need... I was saying in the beginning, I thought I was going to do the live from the webcam on my computer, and I didn't realize I need to download software. So now I'm on my phone, and I'm just holding it up with my arm and exhausting myself. I did not bring my tripod up. This is our attic. It's our nice little hangout space. So next time I'll bring my tripod. It'll be much easier. Bye, everybody. Good night to those of you who are on the East Coast with me, and have a great day to those of you in India. I'm so grateful for your support and getting to chat with you. It's wonderful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to talking to you again really soon. And now to figure out how to turn it off. It's, what is it, 10 now at night, I think? Up to 8:30 a.m., 7:30. So it's been an hour and I started at 9. Yeah, it's 10 here. Yeah. Okay.